The story begins in an abandoned marketplace. We see a family quietly collecting necessary items. They are extremely careful, not speaking a single word. They communicate only through hand gestures. Their silence is not normal, it is forced. Something has happened to the world that makes even the smallest sound dangerous. The head of the family is Lee, and his wife's name is Evelyn. They have 3 children, their eldest daughter Regan, who has been deaf since birth, and 2 sons, Marcus and Bo. Bo is the youngest, and because he is very small, he does not fully understand the danger around them. While they are searching the store, Bo notices a toy rocket placed on a shelf. He becomes excited and reaches for it. The toy almost falls to the floor, but Regan quickly catches it just in time, preventing any noise. Lee signals to the family that it is getting late and they must return home soon, because being outside after dark increases the risk of danger. Just then, Bo again picks up the same rocket. This time, the family reacts with fear, because this toy is battery-powered and will make noise once turned on. Noise attracts the creatures. Lee takes the rocket from Bo and removes the batteries, placing them on the table. He then prepares everyone to leave, but Bo still wants to take the rocket with him. Seeing this, Regan quietly gives him the toy without batteries, thinking it will be safe. She does not notice that Bo also picks up the batteries from the table. The family walks home in a straight line. We now see that this city, which was once full of crowded streets and the noise of traffic, is now completely silent and empty. Very few humans have survived, and this family is among them. They have created a path of soft sand all the way to their house, and they walk barefoot to prevent any sound from footsteps. Little Bo follows behind, happy with his toy rocket. Without understanding the risk, he inserts the batteries into the toy and switches it on. The rocket starts playing music. Regan does not hear it, so she does not react. But Lee and Evelyn immediately turn around in fear. Their expressions show complete panic. From the dense forest nearby, a terrifying creature rushes out at an unbelievable speed. It moves straight toward Bo. Lee runs to save his son, but the creature is faster. In an instant, Bo is taken, and he is gone. The story then jumps to 1 year later. The family has learned how to survive in this dangerous world. Lee has created a research room inside their house. He studies the creatures closely. Through his research, we learn that these creatures cannot see. They are completely blind. However, they have extremely sharp hearing. They can detect even the smallest sound from several kilometers away. Even a slightly louder breath can bring them running instantly, and they kill their target within seconds. Their skin is tougher than metal, making them resistant to bullets and most weapons. These creatures arrived on Earth through a meteor that fell from space. The only way to survive is to remain completely silent, something Lee and his family now understand very well. To protect themselves, Lee has installed CCTV cameras around the house for early warning. He has marked specific steps on the floor to ensure no accidental noise is made. He has built an underground bunker where he studies the creatures and stores emergency supplies. He has also identified that 3 creatures are active in their region. Lee constantly tries to contact survivors through radio signals, but so far he has received no response. Meanwhile, Evelyn is pregnant and will soon give birth. This creates a serious problem. A newborn baby will cry. A crying sound can immediately attract the creatures. To handle this, the family has prepared a soundproof box with an oxygen mask. If the baby cries, they will place him inside the box so no sound escapes. However, Regan's inability to hear creates challenges. Lee tries to help her by building a new cochlear hearing amplifier. He has attempted several versions before. When he gives her the new device, Regan is not confident. She believes it will fail like the previous ones. At first, she throws it aside. But when she tests it later, she hears something faint from the outside world. This emotional moment brings tears to her eyes, but also reminders of her brother Bo. Regan still blames herself for his death because she gave him the rocket that day. She wants to prove herself and help her father. So she tries to go to the underground bunker where Lee works. But Lee stops her. He is afraid that if she accidentally touches something that creates noise, all of their lives could be in danger. Because of this, Regan believes her father no longer trusts her. The next day, Lee prepares to go to the river with Marcus to catch fish. Regan asks him to take her along, but Lee refuses. He tells her that Evelyn is alone at home and needs someone with her. Regan feels hurt and ignored. She begins to think her father does not love her anymore. Hurt and frustrated, she packs her bag and leaves the house. She walks to the place where her younger brother was killed. There she lies beside the small memorial and begins to cry. After some time, she falls asleep beside it. Meanwhile, Evelyn is alone at home. She brings laundry from the basement in a large sack. As she drags the bag up the stairs, the cloth catches on a nail sticking out of a wooden step, pulling the nail upward. The nail now points directly upward, right where someone's foot will step, but Evelyn does not notice it. At the river, Lee takes Marcus near a waterfall. The sound of the falling water is loud enough to hide their voices from the creatures. Lee explains that here, they can speak freely because the noise of the water masks any sound they make. For the first time in a long while, they speak out loud. Marcus asks Lee whether he blames Reagan for Beau's death. Lee tells him that no one was at fault. It was a tragic accident. But Marcus explains that Reagan still blames herself and will continue to suffer unless Lee tells her directly that it was not her fault. Back at the house, Evelyn holds a framed photograph of Beau and quietly cries, remembering him. Suddenly her labor pains start. The baby's coming now. She heads toward the basement, but in her hurry, she steps directly on the exposed nail. The nail pierces deep into her foot. The pain is intense, but she cannot scream. The shock causes her to drop the photo frame, which falls to the floor and breaks loudly. That noise is enough for a creature nearby to detect the house. Holding back her pain, Evelyn forces her foot off the nail and limps down the stairs. She reaches the basement and turns on the red warning lights outside the house. This signal is for Lee. It means she is in danger. She then tries to return upstairs. She sees a creature already inside the house, searching for the source of the sound. She hides behind a wall in the basement, while the creature moves through the house quietly. Evelyn finds a kitchen timer and sets it for a few seconds. She places it in one corner and hides in another. When the timer goes off, the creature rushes toward the sound. Evelyn uses the chance to slip out and move upstairs to the bathroom. Meanwhile, Lee and Marcus see the red warning lights glowing around their home from far away. Lee realizes something is very wrong and starts running toward the house. Evelyn reaches the upstairs bathroom. She can no longer hold back the birth. She is in severe pain. As the creature approaches the bathroom, Evelyn knows she cannot stay silent any longer. At that same moment, Marcus reaches the emergency fireworks setup and fires them into the sky. The loud explosions distract the creature, sending it away from the bathroom. Evelyn finally screams in pain, but her scream is drowned out by the fireworks. She gives birth safely to a baby boy. Lee arrives home and follows the trail of blood up the stairs. He sees the bathtub covered in blood and fears that Evelyn is dead. But then, he sees her hand pressed against the shower glass. She is alive, and so is the baby. Lee helps Evelyn and the baby into the underground soundproof room they prepared earlier. But before they can fully close the entrance, the baby begins to cry. Hearing the sound, the creature returns and begins moving toward them. Lee quickly places an oxygen mask on the baby and puts him inside the soundproof box. The crying is silenced just in time, and the creature loses the sound. Meanwhile, Reagan begins returning home. As she walks through the fields, she notices a small light in the distance, unaware that a creature is tracking her movements. As the creature approaches her from behind, her cochlear device suddenly emits a sharp, high-frequency sound. The creature recoils in pain and retreats. Reagan also feels discomfort in her ear, but the sound stops once the creature leaves. She does not understand what happened, but continues towards the light. When she reaches the light source, she finds a flashlight on the ground. As she picks it up, someone grabs her hand. It is Marcus, terrified, hiding and waiting for help. Back at the house, Evelyn worries that something has happened to the children. She asks Lee to go and find them. Lee leaves the underground room and starts searching. Inside the soundproof basement, the broken water pipe continues to leak. The room slowly begins to flood, but Lee does not notice it as he searches outside. Reagan and Marcus hide on top of a grain silo and light a small fire, hoping Lee will see the smoke and find them. Lee searches the fields but does not see them yet. Inside the basement, Evelyn wakes up to the sound of rushing water. The basement is now filled nearly waist deep. She looks at the baby's box and sees it open, but hears no crying. Fear grips her. She slowly approaches the box. A creature is standing nearby in the water. Evelyn fears that the creature has already killed her baby. She slowly reaches the box. The baby is alive, silent, which is the only reason he survived. Evelyn holds him gently against her chest and stands very still, trying not to make any noise. The creature remains only a few feet away. Meanwhile, on top of the grain silo, Reagan wants to leave and return home by herself. She no longer believes their father will come. Marcus stops her, but in doing so, he slips. The silo door gives way, and Marcus falls into the grain. As he sinks, he cries out loudly. The sound echoes across the fields. The creature that had been searching for Evelyn inside the house hears Marcus's cry from far far away. It immediately leaves the house and rushes toward the grain silo. Evelyn is safe for now, but Marcus is in real danger. Inside the grain silo, Marcus is sinking. The grains behave like quicksand. The more he struggles, the faster he sinks. Reagan breaks the latch on the silo door and drops into the grain herself. Marcus is sinking under when Reagan grabs him and pulls him upward. They climb onto the broken metal door, floating on top of the grain. Sitting on it, they manage to stay above the surface, but their movement has already been heard. The creature is coming. Lee sees the creature moving quickly across the fields toward the silo, and he immediately realizes his children are inside. Reagan has saved Marcus, but the danger has only begun. The creature jumps into the silo. As it approaches them, Reagan's cochlear device suddenly emits the same harsh, high-frequency sound as before. The noise causes intense pain to the creature, forcing it to retreat and climb back out of the silo. Reagan and Marcus escape through the opening and climb out. Lee arrives moments later and holds his children tightly, relieved beyond words. Watching from the CCTV monitors, Evelyn finally feels hope. But that hope does not last long. Lee senses the creature is still nearby. He sends Marcus and Reagan toward the pickup truck and picks up an axe, preparing himself. But the creature appears before he can react and strikes Lee hard, throwing him to the ground. Marcus, terrified, calls out to his father. That single sound gives away his location. The creature turns toward the children. Reagan's cochlear implant emits another painful frequency, but the noise hurts her ears too. Unable to bear it, she switches the device off. This is the moment everything changes. The only thing capable of weakening the creature has now been shut down. The monster leaps onto the truck, trying to reach Marcus. Lee slowly regains consciousness. He sees the creature closing in on his children. He knows he cannot kill it, but he can save them. He looks at Reagan and signs to her very clearly. "I love you. I always loved you. You were never to blame." Reagan's eyes fill with tears. All her life, she had believed he blamed her for Beau's death. In that moment, she realizes she was wrong. Lee turns toward the creature and screams. The creature charges at him. In seconds, Lee is killed. Reagan watches her father die, and something inside her breaks. She and Marcus drive the truck back to the house as fast as they can. Evelyn, having seen everything through the cameras, runs to them and holds them close. But the danger is still not over. One of the creatures enters the house. Evelyn points a shotgun at it, but they all know the bullets cannot pierce its armor. The creature steps closer. Suddenly, Reagan's ear begins to ring sharply. At the same time, the creature recoils in pain. Reagan realizes the truth, the frequency, from her cochlear implant is the creature's weakness. Reagan increases the power of the device. The creature begins to thrash in agony. The sound hurts Reagan too, but she holds her ground. She quickly places the implant beside the microphone of the speaker system, amplifying the frequency throughout the room. The creature screams and collapses, its head splitting open as the sound tears through its senses. Evelyn does not hesitate. She fires the shotgun directly into the creature's exposed mouth. The creature falls dead. The house becomes silent again, but only for a moment. Through the security monitors, they see two more creatures coming toward the house. This time, they are ready. Reagan raises the microphone, increasing the frequency to maximum. Evelyn reloads the shotgun and steps forward. They are done running. They are prepared to fight. And with that, the story ends. If you liked this video, then I highly recommend these two videos on your screen.